Good evening and welcome to Guadron for Islip Council TV on YouTube. This is your host, Jorge Guadron, candidate for the town of Islip Council. Those who are tuning for the very first time or haven't a little bit about me, I was born in El Salvador and came to the U.S. in 1980. I was fleeing political violence when my father was shot dead in front of my mom, my sisters, my brother, my wife, and my firstborn daughter. I am a prime example of the American dream. I am a father and grandfather. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Organizational Management from Nyack College in Nyack, New York. I own a small marketing company. Before I became a business owner in 2002, I worked for 18 years in the restaurant industry. I served as a shop steward at the Hotel and Restaurant Employees Local 100 in New York City. That experience showed me the importance of workers being organized. And currently, I am serving on my second two-year term as president of the Salvadoran American Chamber of Commerce. I have been in the board of directors for over 10 years, and I have served as a membership director, treasurer, secretary, executive director, and now as president. I have a vast experience on both sides of labor, as an employee, as an employer, and I want to put that experience to work for all the residents of Islip, for you. And I am running because time after time, the present town board members have proven that they do not care about our community, and our residents need a voice in the town board. I am more concerned about the high cost of living in Islip. Our millennials are leaving us as long as, along with our older adults. They're leaving Islip, they live in Long Island because of the lack of opportunities for our youth, because of the lack of affordable housing for both our millennials and our older adults, and because of high property taxes. And when it comes to taxes, my little study showed that since 2012, Islip's general tax fund has increased by a whopping 50.29%. When we compare these tax increases with neighboring townships, we find that Islip is in a class by itself. For instance, since 2012, Huntington increased its taxes by 9.64%, Brookhaven by 15%, and Babylon by a mere 0.55%. So we may ask why, all of these ridiculous tax increases in the town of Islip. Well, there are many factors that contribute to that. One of them is the out of control spending that this administration has. Another one is the mismanagement, and probably the more serious one is the patronage that these town board members have been, experiencing in the town of Islip. We also suffered, different illegal dumping of toxic waste in different areas, including Roberto Clemente Park in Brentwood. And obviously, the efforts of cleaning, just Roberto Clemente Park alone cost us a little bit over $6 million. Another issue is that the present town board members are being sued, so we can have what they call councilmatic districts in the town of Islip. They didn't have money to repair the pothole epidemic on the roads that we have in the town of Islip, but all of a sudden they found over $3 million that they were spending in their defense, paying their attorney's fees in court. So only on those two areas we find a little bit over $9 million that could have been invested in our youth, in youth programs during the summer, and why not throughout the year, for our older adults, for our veterans, and so forth. We need and we want an accountable, accessible, and transparent town board. For instance, the budget for 2020 has not been made public, despite the fact that it is ready for a few weeks. they intend to publish it 2 days after Election Day. On November the 7th, and after its publication and presenting the budget at the town board, they will also call for a vote on the budget, and most likely they will approve it. Now, why other townships make their proposed budgets available to the public without any restrictions weeks prior to voting on that given budget? Why Islip has to have the budget restricted in a way that, yes, they say it is available for anyone, but you have to make an appointment and come in to town hall, and not only come into town hall during the business hours that they open, but also be supervised under a strict supervision of a town employee. They do not allow you to take photographs on the budget. They do not allow to make photocopies on the budget, much less they do not allow you to take that budget out of that office. So what is it that they're hiding? What is it that they don't want us to know? What is it that they don't want you voters to know? Well, as per the Suffolk County News, they published an article named "A Look at Islip's 2020 Budget." It was published on October the 24th of this year. They mentioned that the general tax levy of the town will increase by a 3.92%. So obviously they're hiding that increase. They want you to believe that they are working for you, that they are making sure that they will not increase their taxes. Their advertising, their campaign advertising indicates that they are working for the residents of Islip, that they will make sure that the taxes do not increase, when in reality and in fact they will raise those taxes by 3.92%. Not only that, but they also will increase their salaries by a little bit over 2%. And all of this is according to the publication by the Suffolk County News, that article that was published on October the 24th of this year. And the name of the article is "A Look at Islip's 2020 Budget." So please, do your diligent work, go to the Suffolk County News and corroborate what I'm just saying. So these town board members really do not listen to the residents of Islip. They do not care for our communities. They do not listen to the outcry of the vast majority of opposition of the residents of the town of Islip to different programs and different zoning changes that they are proposing. For instance, Island Hills Golf Course. There is a proposal by Regular Equities in which they are trying to change the zoning so they can build over 1,300 apartments, resident apartments, and these are luxury apartments. These are not affordable housing apartments or units. These are luxury apartments, and they not only intend to build those apartments, but they intend to have stories, building stories over 4 or 5 stories high, which is attempting against the character of the hamlet of Sayville. We also have something similar going on in Brentwood with the Heartland Town project, with the Heartland Town Square project. At first, they had received an application to approve a building that would be no higher than 4 or 5 stories high. Now, at the time that the vote took place, they had switched from 5 to 10 stories high. The building that the owners, Mr. Wolkoff, is trying to build at the Heartland Town Square project in Brentwood. So we are seeing that they are really not transparent. We are seeing that they are not really accountable or accessible, because they do not allow the residents of Islip not only to have access to public information that we have the right to. And not only we have the right to, but we are the ones who are paying their salaries. We are the ones who are paying for all of the programs that we need as residents of the town of Islip. So right there, we are seeing a lack of accountability, transparency, and responsibility on the part of the present town board members. We, as a team, Jorge Guadron for council and Tom Murphy for supervisor, Liam Barr for councilwoman, Donovan Kirby for receiver of taxes, and Joe Fritz for town clerk, are committed to saying no, to voting no to the Island Hills Golf Course zoning change and any other change in the hamlet of Sayville that will affect or impact in a negative form the character of the hamlet of Sayville. Another program that is very unpopular that many residents are against in the hamlet of Bayshore is the parking meter program. And this program, at first, when it was first proposed, was it seemed to be a good idea because it was going to deter people from other areas of Long Island coming during the summertime and park, in different streets adjacent to the ferry zone when, they came here for, having some fun and going to the different, attractions that some of the local areas offer, like Fire Island and so forth. But that was then, but now they intend to, have the program throughout the entire town of Islip. They intend to have parking meters being installed in all of the Long Island Railroad stations because they see that it generates revenue, for the town. Obviously, this revenue they need because, once again, we go back to $9 million that they spend in something that they should have spent on the very first place. So they are trying to install the parking meters town-wide, and many residents oppose that because that's a form of double taxation. I, as president of the Salvadoran American Chamber of Commerce, have heard many of our affiliated businesses indicating that that's not good, that they don't want to see that. Especially in areas like Brentwood, Central Islip, and North Bay Shore. So obviously these town board members are not listening. We are also going to combat the pothole epidemic and the opioid epidemic. We are going to suspend the parking meter program on day one, and we're going to call for public hearings and reevaluate the meter program. And if the community of Bayshore wants to continue with the meter program, then we will let them continue with the meter program, and we will make sure that that revenue stays within the hamlet of Bayshore, because that was the initial proposal that these town board members did. We're going to be working on affordable housing initiatives. We are going to be combating the zombie homes that are in the area. We're going to propose that these zombie homes be converted into affordable housing units. We will provide maybe a streamlining permit process for those who intend to buy these foreclosed homes or zombie homes, and convert an area of that house or that particular house so they can rent it. And if this unit is rented to a millennial, then offer some tax incentives for the very first year or 2 years, so the homeowner can not only recover some of the initial investment that will do in order to transform that area of that house. Also, for those older adults, 55 and older, when they retire, they will be in a steady income. And sometimes when something unexpected happens in their lives, it is difficult for them to make ends meet in a month-to-month basis. So if they intend, to submit a permit to, change also an area of their houses so they can rent to a millennial, then we will streamline the permit. Obviously, everything has to have a limit. We intend to have a limit for these permits, to a 10% at the most in each hamlet, so we keep a healthy balance in all areas. We also intend to have or promote commercial activity in the north section of the town, as well as there is in the south. As it is now, during the summertime, the south section, I'm talking about south of Mountain Highway, there is ample commercial activity during the summertime, and that is good for the business owners and for also the community at large. But we will also, create programs that will create the commercial activity in the north side of the town, more specifically at the Roberto Clemente Park, that will, accommodate the residents of Brentwood in north of Bayshore, and also we will have some commercial activities or some fairs, commercial fairs at the Central Islip Recreational Center that will accommodate the residents of Central Islip, Bohemia, and some of Ronkonkoma. So obviously all of these we will do in accordance with looking for alliances, strategic alliances with the county, state, and federal officials. In addition to having that commercial activity in the north part, we want to fight the pothole epidemic and the opioid epidemic. We will propose a creation of a human resources office that will, take the lead in this fight against not only the opioid epidemic, but also, that will help our millennials, our veterans, and our older adults. And they will, in essence, inform them, educate the community at large, and obviously we will have a better service for all of these older adults, millennials, and these victims of the opioid epidemic. Obviously, all of this has to be done in conjunction with county, state, and federal entities. Our initiatives for youth, in order to keep them out of the gangs, we will promote initiatives that will promote the those who are talented in sports, like some kind of athletic program. Obviously, we have to work with county, state, and federal institutions, and also we have to bring in the private sector. And when I'm talking about the private sector, I'm talking about businesses, corporations that are interested in having a branding of the products, in this area. And obviously, our proposals respond to the needs of the residents of the town of Islip. Our proposals are not on any partisan lines, are not on any partisan ideologies. These are in response to our residents' needs. We have been listening, we have been canvassing since April of this year, and the common outcry of our residents are those areas that I just mentioned a moment ago. Our proposals are based on basic human dignity. Once again, we're responding to our residents' needs, and we're responding to basic human dignity. When we come back, we're going to be talking about early voting that started last Saturday, so please don't go away.
Friends of Jorge Guadron invitan a la gran caravana de cierre de campaña el día sábado 2 de noviembre a las 3 de la tarde, punto de reunión 866 Wilson Boulevard. Ven y ayuda a elegir a Jorge Guadron para concejal de Islip, y recuerda que tu voto es tu voz.
Guadron, y estoy aquí para invitarlos a que estas próximas elecciones salgamos todos a votar, porque necesitamos una voz en nuestra comunidad, porque las personas en el poder no les importamos. No es justo que aquí suben los impuestos sin pensar en nosotros. Nosotros vivimos de lo que el Seguro Social nos da porque estamos retirados. Entonces, cada vez que suben los impuestos, nosotros tenemos problemas económicos para pagarlos. Y lo peor de todo, que nos suben los impuestos y no nos dan nada a cambio de eso. Al contrario, estamos cada día de mal en peor. Yo hago un llamado a la comunidad para que se una al señor Jorge Guadron, que es la persona indicada para luchar por todos los derechos de nosotros. Así que estas próximas elecciones, por favor, salgamos a votar.
Welcome to Guadron for Islip Council TV on YouTube. This is your host, Jorge Guadron, Democratic candidate for the town of Islip Council. As I mentioned before, we went to those very important messages. I have, a couple of more very important messages that production is working on. Early voting started last Saturday, and it will last through this Sunday, November the 3rd. Tomorrow, early voting begins at 12 noon and ends at 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, the polls are open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. In the town of Islip, you can vote at 401 Main Street in Islip. That's the Town Hall Annex building in Islip. We are offering free rides for those who need to the polls. You can call us at 631-987-2788, 631-987-2788. And we have a very special message for our Hispanic community with Pastor Lozano, who is the president of the Long Island Association of Pastors in Long Island. And once again, early voting started this past Saturday and ends on this Sunday, November the 3rd. Tomorrow, you can come out and vote from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 401 Main Street in Islip. For information as to how to get to the polls for free, give us a call at 631-987-2788, 631-987-2788. Don't forget, we have free rides for you because it's very important that your vote counts. Your vote is your voice. So remember, for free rides, give us a call at 631-987-2788. And I think production has a very special, message for our Hispanic community that they're working on. Early voting ends this Sunday, November the 3rd. You can vote tomorrow from 12 noon to 4 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And important message for you. And obviously, we have our ticket. It is a very diverse and inclusive ticket. Jorge Guadron for Islip Town Council, Liam Barr for Council, Donovan Kirby for Receiver of Taxes, Joe Fritz for Town Clerk, and Tom Murphy for Supervisor. So I think we have the message ready. But when it's ready, they're going to play it. And once again, Jorge Guadron and Liam Barr for Council. Jorge and Liam, we are both residents of Central Islip. Donovan Kirby for Receiver of Taxes is also a resident from Brentwood. And Joe Fritz is a lifetime resident from Brentwood. And Tom Murphy was born in Sayville and grew up in Sayville and now lives in Bayport, has a very young daughter. She's going to be, I believe, 9 months old either today or tomorrow. We wish them, the very first, the very happy moment celebrating the birth of the daughter for the 9th month. And they want to make sure that this beautiful baby has a bright future here in the town of Islip. We don't want any of our youth going away. We don't want any of our older adults, leaving the town. We want to make sure that they find a place here to live. I moved from the city to Islip looking for that peace and quiet that a suburban lifestyle community offers like Islip. And believe me, once you elect me and our team, we're going to make sure that it stays that way, a suburban lifestyle community. Remember, Jorge Guadron for Council, Liam Barr for Council, Donovan Kirby for Receiver of Taxes, Joe Fritz for Town Clerk, and Tom Murphy for Supervisor. So we have this important message for our Hispanic community. Go ahead. Adelante.
Dios les bendiga. Les saluda el pastor Lozano, presidente de APLI, Asociación de Pastores de Long Island. La Biblia dice, bienaventurada la nación cuyo Dios es Jehová. Estoy aquí para extenderle una invitación a todos a que salgamos a participar el día sábado 26 de octubre, terminando el 3 de noviembre, que salgamos a votar. Recuérdese que su voz es su voto. Apoyemos a nuestros candidatos y que el Señor les bendiga a todos. Este que le habló fue el pastor Lozano. Bendiciones. Shalom.
Welcome back to Guadron for Islip Council TV. This is your host, Jorge Guadron, candidate for the town of Islip Council. Once again, reminding you that we have, for the very first time in the town of Islip and obviously in New York State, early voting. It started last Saturday. It will end this Sunday, November the 3rd. Tomorrow, you can vote from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you want free rides to the polls, which are located at 401 Main Street in Islip, which is the annex building, you can give us a call at 631-987-2788. And I believe the production is also working on a very special message. Remember that the slate is, for the town of Islip is a very diverse and inclusive slate. Jorge Guadron, I'm a resident of Central Islip. Liam Bart, a resident of Central Islip. Donovan Kirby for receiver taxes. Brentwood resident. Joe Fritz, town clerk, Brentwood resident. And Tom Murray for supervisor, a Bayport resident. And go ahead, production, with that very important message.
Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. Lawrence E. Mosley Jr. I am the pastor of Hope Missionary Baptist Church at 100 Lemon Street in Central Islip, New York. I am coming to you, encouraging you to get out and vote. It is important for us to vote because a voteless people is a hopeless people. Now, with us getting out to vote, early voting starts this Saturday, October the 26th.
Welcome back.
And it ends on November the 3rd. Let us get out and make a difference. Everyone needs to have a voice. And this is your opportunity to have a voice. So let's take advantage of this and support our local candidates. Thank you.
Welcome back to Guadron for Islip Council TV on YouTube. This is your host, Jorge Guadron, Democratic candidate for the town of Islip Council. Once again, we have early voting that will end this Sunday, November the 3rd. Tomorrow, you can vote from 12 noon to 4 p.m. At 401 Main Street. Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can have free rides to the polls. You can give us a call at 631-987-2788, 631-987-2788. Our slate is a very diverse and inclusive slate. Jorge Guadron for Islip Council, resident of Central Islip. Liam Bart for Council, resident of Central Islip. Donovan Kirby for receiver of taxes, resident of Brentwood. Joe Fritz for town clerk, a resident of Brentwood, and Tom Murray for supervisor, resident of Bayport. Remember to vote row A and row F. We are on both on those two lines, row A and row F. For any information about early voting, free transportation, or rides to the polls, you can give us a call at 631-987-2788, 631-987-2788. And this Saturday, we have, for the very first time in the history of Islip, a caravan of ending of campaign caravan that we will meet at 866 Wilson Boulevard in Central Islip, and we will travel throughout the entire town. And we have this important message also. You can see it here, how the caravan is going to be taking place. Go ahead, production.
Friends of Jorge Guadron invitan a la gran caravana de cierre de campaña el día sábado 2 de noviembre a las 3 de la tarde, punto de reunión 866 Wilson Boulevard. Ven y ayuda a elegir a Jorge Guadron para concejal de Islip y recuerda que tu voto es tu voz.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Guadron y estoy aquí para invitarlos a que estas próximas elecciones salgamos todos a votar, porque necesitamos una voz en nuestra comunidad, porque las personas en el poder no les importamos. No es justo que aquí suben los impuestos sin pensar en nosotros. Nosotros vivimos de lo que el Seguro Social nos da porque estamos retirados. Entonces, cada vez que suben los impuestos, nosotros tenemos problemas económicos para pagarlos. Y lo peor de todo, que nos suben los impuestos y no nos dan nada a cambio de eso. Al contrario, estamos cada día de mal en peor. Yo hago un llamado a la comunidad para que se una al señor Jorge Guadron, que es la persona indicada para luchar por todos los derechos de nosotros. Así que estas próximas elecciones, por favor, salgamos a votar.
Welcome to Guadron for Islip Council TV. This is your host, Jorge Guadron, candidate for the town of Islip Council. So I thank you very much for all of this time that you've been, joining me in this program, reminding you that please come out and vote. Your vote is your voice. It is time that we make some changes. In order to change the way the government is run, you got to change those who run government. And reminding you that we have the end of campaign car caravan that's going to be taking place this Saturday at 3 p.m. at 866 Wilson Boulevard. For the very first time, this is something that will, awaken the consciousness of our residents to come out and vote. Remember, this Saturday at 3 p.m., we're going to be meeting at 866 Wilson Boulevard in Central Islip. And remember to come out and vote. Vote Jorge Guadron for Islip Council on row A and row F. Row A and row F. Jorge Guadron for Islip Town Council, Leon Bard for Council, Donovan Kirby for Receiver of Taxes, Joe Fritz for Town Clerk, and Tom Marvey for Supervisor. Thank you very much. May God bless all of you. And don't forget that we have the caravan this Saturday at 3 p.m. meeting at 866 Wilson Boulevard. God bless you. And thank you very much. Have a good night.